What's up, everyone? It is your girl Beauty 87 here, aka Grace, and today we're gonna get into the Fenty Cosmetica, Sorcerer palette. So if y'all remember, I did a video on her first palette, the Druid palette here. This is what it looks like on the inside. As you can see, it's more grungy, earth toned goodness. This one I'll be pulling for fall most likely, and incorporating with other palettes in my collection, like the Nocturnal from Glaminatrix, and you know, my what is it, Fairy Frolic from Unearthly. I actually did a battle of between those two. You'll see it coming soon, but we're here to talk about this one today. So when I saw the color story of this on her Instagram page, I was like, yes, I need it. I mean, it's blue, it's got green and blue shifting shades, it's purple, and it has some pinks. I do like pink every now and again, but I usually do a blue, green, purple. But as you can see, I have pink on the brow bone today. I've been doing that lately though, like we've talked about. I really love the color story of this one, and I feel like this one is just right for the time she came out with it, like spring and summertime. I love these type of colors for now, so I'm super excited to play with this one. If I remember correctly, this was $38.99. Now, as usual, I actually don't have that many palettes to compare this one to, because I usually have like blue, green, purple, or like blue, pink, purple ish type vibes. So I'm gonna put it against the Bloom palette just so you can see what they look like. But I feel like the Bloom palette is more grungy compared to this palette. So here's the Bloom palette line. This palette, I feel like this would make a good companion palette for the Bloom palette though, because you get a lot of those dark shades that you don't get in this palette, in the Bloom palette. So I'm most likely gonna do a palette mashup with those, and you'll see it on my Instagram sometime. Excuse me. And then I have the Meet Me at Midnight palette. Now, I know these aren't exactly similar. Again, I'm just trying to show you palettes I feel like are somewhat close to my collection. They're already here, because I actually didn't bring any palettes to compare to this one, believe it or not. I was going to leave that more for my Instagram stories, because that's where I usually post all my comparisons and my highlights, and then I save the highlights for you all to watch. So, here's that one. And then last but not least, I have the Don't Be Jelly palette, the original. When they were called Alien Cosmetics, they are now Unearthly Cosmetics, but I figured I'd show you some of the shimmers in here so you can get a similarity of tones when it comes to this. So that's what both of them look like. You can still buy this palette now. It is you can use an influencer's code, so you can use code Cage Makeup to buy this palette. You can also use code Cage Makeup to buy this palette, because she has affiliate codes out for influencers now. And of course, my girl Karen Harris has one. So make sure you use code Cage Makeup when you buy this cute little palette here. So now I've shown you some comparisons and whatnot, let me zoom you on in. If you're curious what's on my eyes right now, you will see the video for that tomorrow, which will be Tuesday. This morning, it's Tuesday morning when I'm filming this, and that is the Matte About Hue palette from ColourPop. I actually am going to give y'all a battle of over the weekend with this one, comparing it to the Blend Bunny Original Blends palette, just to see how it stacks up to it, because you know everybody loves to talk about the Blends palette. So I want to see if you can have a nice little alternative to that palette if you don't necessarily want to spend the coins. Even though I feel like the coins are pretty close with each palette, because if I remember correctly, that palette was $34 and I was like, ooh child. Anyway, back to the palette we're supposed to be talking about, because I keep talking about every palette under the sun except it. So I'm gonna go off camera, do one eye, get my life in order. As you can see, I'm not gonna change my lower lash line, so it's just gonna be blue, but I'll try to use the blues and the pinks. I mainly want to use the blues and the pink. I might use the purple as the outer V, but I'm mainly focused on the blues and the pinks today. I just love how blue and pink looks together. It makes me think of like boy girl when you're, you know, having a gender reveal party or something. But I'm gonna try to use those, but I'll try to use as many colors as possible, like I did in the last video with the Druid palette. I think I used just about every shade except one. I'll be right back, girl. Okay. So I feel like this is a classic me look, so we shouldn't be surprised. So I end up using just about every shade in the palette. I think the literally only shade I did not use was this one right here. I used everything else. So this is what's in the crease, and this is what's in the crease. This is what's on the outer V. This is what's on the brow bone. This starts on the back of the lid. This is toward the front of the lid. This is a little pocket by the inner corner, and this is what's actually in the inner corner. So I used every shade except this one. Just like last time, I used every shade except one. So let's get to it. So I start off with the light pink shade. What does it say it is? Inate, I guess that's how you say it. If I remember correctly, I think Angie said this is supposed to be like World of Warcraft, or I forgot the other name of the one that she said it could be from. I don't play video games. When I did, I was a kid who played, like, you know, Super Mario Brothers. So Like, computer games were never something I played, but I thought Angie said that these palettes are supposed to be inspired by World of Warcraft. Don't quote me though. If you know, you can comment down below and tell me. I have no idea. But I'm just taking the pink and going all underneath the brow bone as usual. I don't know, I've been really liking the way this looks lately, so I'm like, I start off at the top and work my way towards the bottom. I used to like do the outer V and then work my way up, so it looked more airbrush, but I'm digging this and I'm feeling this and I'm liking this a whole lot better. So we're just gonna roll with it, girl. Just roll with it, it's fine. Now we're gonna take the dark pink shades called Unleashed and start putting that on. Originally I wanted to do the purple, but it turned out better doing the pink instead of the purple. Plus, it didn't seem like the purple was going to be deep enough at the time, but I'm glad I didn't, because I feel like it made the pinks merge and transition a lot nicer in this eye look than it would have if I had put the darker pink in the crease and the lighter pink but on top. I feel like that made it a little bit crazy, so I'm glad I talked myself out of that whole situation and did it this way instead, because I like this way a whole lot better. So just blending Unleashed into lighter pink shade. And I'm here for it. Is the vibe. These are nice and pigmented. The light pink did give me some kickback in the pan. If you're somebody who's not huge on kickback in the pan, I mean, I'm not, but at the same time, I'm like, you know, since I'm used to certain shadows just doing that, I try to like overlook it. But I want to make a note of people who don't like stuff like that, that you might not like. In fact, it has a lot of pickup in the pan. But I feel like it's only in that shade, because I don't feel like in the dark purple or the blue I got a lot of pickup. So it seems like it's just that shade. Now we're going into the purple shade. What is this called? Empower. So we're into Empower now. I'm going to take it about right here. So, like, we'll start right under the arch of the brow bone, really where the bone is, and then bring it right out here, and then we're going to go into the blue after that. So I just build it up, and it builds up nicely on its own. Like, it starts off actually quite pigmented, so I really like that about it. This could easily be one of my favorite palettes of this year, just because of the color story and the gorgeous eyes that I've been at it. I'm like, yes. Like, do y'all see my eyes? And the depth that's going into this whole situation. I'm like, yes, girl, give it to me. So I'm sick of my putting blush and bring it around a little bit. I'm gonna take Unleashed and a little bit more onto it. Just a tad bit, just so we can kind of get a nice little transition going. I don't know, I'm really liking the depth. It's like right in the crease area right here. I don't know why I'm feeling it so much, but I am. Now we're gonna take Wild Magic. That's the name of the blue shade. Just start tapping it on. With this one, I felt like I had to build it up a little bit, and it doesn't look as bright on the eyes as it did in the pan. I wasn't disappointed by it though, but I just wanted to be known that I feel like it looks brighter in the pan, but now that I'm putting it on, it's deeper. It could be because we put it next to this purple though, and it's kind of dark, but toward the front, because see, toward the front, I feel like it looks a little bit lighter, but when you start blending toward the purple, obviously it's getting deeper. So just bear that part in mind. It might oxidize a little bit and not be exactly the color they are in the pan. It's looking good. Take the purple one and just blend. We didn't add anything extra, just blend it together so again they can transition into each other the same way I did with the pink. Okay, that's looking good. Take my E40 from Sigma again and just blend it on out there, girl. Blend it on out. Now I'm gonna take my brush with some glitter glue so I can stick all these gorgeous sparkly shades on my lid, because honey, I am here for all the sparkle that is going on my eye. At first I thought I was gonna try to do like one of the metallics and the glitters and just tap a glitter on top of it, but no, I'm just gonna do it like this instead. I think I'm gonna end up doing a couple more looks with this palette this week though, just because I really love the color combination of this. I want to do just a blue and purple type situation, and then I want to do a light and dark pink situation that's like a little more wanna be romantic type situation. So we'll see how that goes. Now we're gonna take the shade. What does this say? Firestorm. That's the name of the pink shimmery metallic shade. I started off with that really glittery, sparkly one towards the back of the eye, so that's what we're gonna do. I literally started patting this down here, and look at how gorgeous that is. Like, honey, give it to me, give it to me, give it to me. Yes. I do feel like these are a little bit sheer, so it's like I've tried to pat it down and then try brushing it out after that. To give me a little bit more opacity. But when I did that, it works just fine. So that is what I suggest if you want to put this over the lid and you don't have like a color underneath it. So I'm taking it to where the purple ends, and then I'm going to put a different shade on from there on. So make it look like you have a dual chrome on the lid. As usual, I told y'all if you put two different shades and you turn your head, it looks like you have a dual chrome situation going on. So I try to do that pretty regularly. I took the shade, what is it called? Arcane? Yeah, the name of the shade is Arcane. And that's the one we put toward the front of the eye. It has a blue to purple shift to it. And just blend it into the other shade. So I try to blend it right to where the purple starts blending into the blue, and mainly focus toward the front of the eye and stop right there so I have the nice transition that you see. And then we're gonna go with the shade Polymorph. That's the one I tucked a little bit into the inner corner right here, so I kind of just literally went like right in here to get a little bit of purple and stuff blended into here. So I just literally tried to sit it like right in this little pocket. I didn't try to go any further or higher up. So that is what we working with, girl. And I must say, I am definitely here for it, and it is a vibe. Okay, close up this little before I forget and leave it open. I'll be dry glue. The last color we used was the shade Illusion. That's the one I popped in the inner corner. So we're gonna go ahead and pop her in the inner corner now. So. Then I'm going to add a wing and mascara off camera. We're going to talk about the palette now. So let me back you on up real quick. Demonstration mode, you a little too close. I need some personal space. No, I'm sure you're tired of looking at my greasy face. That's another reason. Back you on up, girl. Back it on up. No, so my thoughts on this palette. I like this one even better than the first one. I know the first one is more of my color aesthetic, but I guess because it came out now instead of fall, I wasn't necessarily feeling it as much. But this one is right up my alley for right now. Like, I live for colors like this. I love this blue, green, purple magic. Y'all know I'll pull out a look and do a look like this in a minute. I think I've done at least 3 like this summer with other palettes as well. But, you know, I'm here for it. The fact that this is catered just to that type of look I would like to do. I know it's a palette I can grab for. And since I have so many palettes with so many different color stories, and sometimes they have unique color stories that you have to think about. When I don't want to think, when I know I want to make this type of look, it's good to have this palette because I know I can just go grab and get it done, and then look is gonna look stunning. Because I mean, tell me this look isn't stunning. No one believes you. Go away and leave me alone. Thank you so much. This look is fire. This palette is fire. I absolutely love this, and I'm so glad I got it in my collection. I recommend you get it. I used code Cage Makeup. Like I said, you can use Karen's code Cage Makeup to get this palette. I absolutely love it. I think it's stunning, and I'm glad to have it in my collection. I did put some more of the blue from the palette on the lower lash line, so I'm gonna do that off camera as well. But I just took the shade Wild Magic and took the pencil brush that I used and just dusted it underneath here to give me a little more depth underneath there. And I did add some more light blue pencil to the waterline because I had a color pop on there earlier, but obviously it's worn off over time. I've had this makeup on for like over 8 hours because I put on my makeup at 4 and I don't have to be at work till like 6. So I've had this makeup on for like 10-11 hours. So I think it looks pretty good, all things considered. I have on the Patrick Star foundation, whichever one that is. I forgot the name of it. I think it's Butter Base or BBB Cream foundation that he made. I have that on. But yeah, I'm really, really, really impressed with this eye look, and I really, really love this palette. So I'm gonna recommend that you try it out. She has a bundle with this one and the original one. I believe she said it was $74. If you use Karen's code, I think you get 10% off. Don't quote me. I forgot how much Karen's code was, but yeah, I like both of the palettes, but of course, because the season we're out, I'm just going to be loving this one a little bit more. So those are my thoughts on the palette. The mattes blend nice. They're quite pigmented. You don't have to do that much blending to get the opacity that you would like. So that means they're not thin, and you know, she didn't try to put out a cheap product, which I appreciate. She came to the market. She knew her market. She made sure that, you know, she came with the pigment. She came with the sparkles and the shimmers and the dual chromes and the multi-chromes and all that type of good stuff. and I'm here for this palette. So I like her metallic formula, I like her shimmer formula. She did have a topperish type shade in the first palette I wasn't feeling. Let me see if this is the same as that one. Yeah, so this is the type of formula that I don't necessarily love, like this one right here, the one I didn't use. It looked similar to the formula of the last one of her palette that I didn't use, which is why I didn't use it, and I guess I was right. So she always puts one of these, like, I guess it's supposed to be like a topper with a little bit of like reflective color to it for the base. I personally don't like shades like that, so that's a shade in here I'll probably use the least. But if I do, I'd probably put it on a lid and then just put one of the sparkling ones on there to be able to like utilize it in the palette. But that's the only shade that I'm not a fan of. Everything else in this palette is absolutely wonderful. So those are my thoughts on this new palette from Fenty Cosmetica. I hope you all enjoyed this video. Remember, you all are diamonds. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Be blessed, girl. Bye.